Hi guys, got another video for you. This one is my first 2026 mock draft for NFL. Way too early one. But yeah, let's get it started. Number one overall, we get the Cleveland Browns. Doesn't say, but I'm gonna assume this is their own pick, not the Jags pick. I'm assuming 7. They have the Jags being at 7. So yeah. Either way, they have two top 10 picks. But yeah, like if they're picking number one, I'm assuming like if since Joe Flacco or such kind of picking do very well, they gave Gabriel and Shadur some time. Obviously, they probably didn't do very well if they end up being number one. So I'm assuming they go great. I'm gonna give them a new quarterback. Those guys were Gabriel was a third round, late third. Sanders is a mid fifth. It's not like you're invested very much into them. So I'm gonna give them a new QB. And I'll give them Archie Manning out Texas. Number two, got the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, for them, they got Cam Ward. They're not taking quarterback a year later. So not going to do that. They got Jeffrey Simmons, but he's only a year older. Who were. Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, the edge class isn't the greatest. So, varsity class is not very good either. Wait another year and he'll be good because there'll be Ryan Williams and Jeremiah Smith, but those are 2027 guys. You could go tackle, but they got Latham. I'm not super high on the Dan Moore deal, but they still pay him a ton. So do you really want to move on from him after a year? So I don't go D line. If you compare this guy with Devontae Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons, good replacement for Sebastian Joseph Day. So I'm gonna give them TJ Parker, D lineman out Clemson. Number three, you got the New Orleans Saints. Honestly, didn't go very good if they're picking this high with Tyler Shu or Shuck. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. It was a second round pick, but when you're picking third, like even if you got a quarterback, it's not like it was a first round pick. It's one thing if you used a first round pick on him last year, but he didn't. You're at number three, so you're in the right range to pick quarterback. Your roster is getting older and older, so like you need to compete now. Like you need a QB like before this roster just is all gone. So I'm gonna give them QB out Penn State. Number four, got the New York Giants. They didn't pick up Evan Neal's fifth year option, so unless he has a breakout season finally, he's gonna be gone after next season. So definitely is a tackle, but you could also they did bring in Javon Holland, but safety, but Caleb Downs could be really good. Who? Because they got a pretty young secondary. Who's their other safety? Is it Newman? So they got Tyler Newman and Holland. That's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna go tackle. Get them try to get a replacement for Emmanuel. We can try to get a really good tackle duel with him and Thomas. I'm gonna give them Caden Proctor tackle up Alabama. Number 5, got the New York Jets. They signed Fields, but they're picking 5. It probably didn't go very good because like if Fields worked out great for them, they probably would not think they'd be picking 5. They're in the range to do it. And Alex Smith didn't go too well with Fields. He has 1 year left, so if you want, you can develop this guy for a year. So I'm going to give them Garrett Nussmeier, QB of LSU here. Number 6, you got the Carolina Panthers. Let's see how, I guess we'll have to see how one Bryce. Quarterback class could go another quarterback. Do you really want to go the 4th guy in the top 6? I mean, you do have Bryce still. Got it, Ken Kwanu. They picked out the 5th year option, so you think that would buy him at least 1 more year after this, even if he does not that great of year. How old is Moton though? Because Moton's he's gonna be 31 he's gonna be 31 by the time of this draft, almost 32. So he's gonna be pretty old. So you can definitely use a replacement for him. But Caleb Downs could also be really good. Yeah. Yeah, it could go tackle, it could go an RD lineman, pair him with Derek Brown. But like him, Caleb Downs and Teron Moore could be really good safe to do. So I'm gonna give him Caleb Downs, safe to Ohio State here. Number 7, we got the Cleveland Browns back on the board. They drafted Mason Graham, so I don't really need D lineman as much. Like you can try lead interior D line duo. But it's not as big a need with that pick. It's a little early from our corner with Ward getting up in his late 20s. Tackles, Wills is gone. Conklin's getting up there. So you could definitely, they didn't really draft any tackles this last year. So then again, our tackle, try to get better protection for now. Archie Manning. I'm going to give them Francis Mayuka. Go. Sorry, I probably butchered the last name. Miami, Florida. Just try to get them elite protection. How about your offense slot there? Number 8, got the Indianapolis Colts. Yeah, maybe they would want to go and give another year, but if you're at 8, like I kind of said to some previous teams, like if you're at 8, the Anthony Richardson experiment, I guess you can call it, whatever you want to call it, or maybe even Daniel Jones if you had that bad of a year, probably didn't work out the greatest if you're picking at 8. So yeah, maybe you go linebacker. So I'm gonna give him the quarterback. Sucks Richardson probably didn't work out, but most quarterbacks drafted high don't, sadly. But yeah, I don't give him new QB. I don't give them the Norris Sellers QB out of South Carolina. Number 9, got the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, I'd like kind of say anything close. Like if you're picking at 9, Gino probably didn't work out the greatest. And Carroll, he's run out of time. He's not going to be coaching for much longer. So maybe he tries to get another QB, but he also might be like give Gino another year and be like, invest in another team guy that can play for you right away. They signed Christian Wilkins last offseason. He missed a lot of the year due to injury, though. They don't really have much else. A little early for our safety to get a replacement for Tron Mooring. Could also go tackle to give Hudson out there. But yeah, I'm gonna try help out that defense. Try to get a elite pair with Christian Wilkins for a couple seasons. I'm gonna give them another Clemson D lineman. Actually, yeah. Oh man, yeah. Because yeah, Wilkins went to Clemson, and like the top 2 D linemen in this class are Clemson guys. So I'm gonna give them Peter Woods. Clemson here. Get a couple of Clemson guys in that D line group now. Starting number 10, got the New England Patriots. They drafted Will Campbell. They signed Morgan Moses, I believe. I believe that's who they signed their tackle. Let me double check here. They signed Morgan Moses, but he's in his 30s. He can definitely use some more help there. You signed Milton Williams, so D tackle can be a little bit of need, but not as big a need. I'd really like to get our receiver to help out Drake May, but it's a little early for first guy. So I'm going to try to get late tackle to Will Campbell and Isaiah World tackle of Oregon. That's an interesting last name. But yeah, try to help out that tackle. Number 11, got the LA Rams. I wish I could see if they had this being their pack or Falcons, because it's tough. Let me look for a second. I'll be right back. I couldn't. I looked at Super Bowl odds, and it's like they didn't have it in the right order. So I'm just gonna assume this is Falcons one. I'd be surprised if they had the Rams picking this high and the Falcons at 24, but who knows? Started season, sometimes you see some real random orders. So let's look at this quarterback class because yeah, if he made the playoffs, obviously if you are the team at 24, but Stafford's another year older. He's in his late 30s. How much longer he's going to play? Sounds like he's taking it year by year at this point. So even if he does play another year after this draft, it might be his last season. So he could definitely use a eventual replacement for him. So I'm going to get that for him. I'm going to give them Cade Klubnik, QB out of Clemson. Number 12, got the Arizona Cardinals. You got Will Johnson the second. So and you still got Summer from Bud team, but I think his deal is over at this point. So you could do some more help there. But that Johnson pick in the second really helps. Maybe his knee problem ends up being just that bad and you end up not being the greatest just because he does have to deal with chronic stuff with that. Tackle wise, you got Paris Johnson Jr. obviously. Jonah Williams has 1 year left. Kevin Beansham got brought back on a 1 year deal. So you could definitely use a new right tackle. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to give them Spencer Fano, tackle of Utah. Number 13, got the Seattle Seahawks. Dang, looks like they aren't too high on Sammy Darnold. Seattle Seahawks this year. They did get Jalen Morrell in the third, and Darnold does have a giant deal as well. Could use a D tackle because they brought back Jonathan Hankins, so he's on 1 year deal. Leonard Williams in his 30s. Maybe you go the first wide receiver. Cup is on a 3 year deal, but he's also in his 30s. He hasn't been in the league that long, but he was older when he came in, so he's not super young. Could definitely use our edge help. You got DeMarcus Lawrence, but he's our older guy. How's edge group? So yeah, it's really saying D tackle and edge. Maybe you go run back. But yeah, the next deal I'm entire. I'm aboard in the first edge that has no. We haven't taken edge yet in this draft. Maybe edge. Yeah, the draft just has a great year and ends up right in the boards. Possibly can't predict that yet. So I'm gonna give them Keldrick Falk, the alignment out of Auburn here. Number 14 got the Miami Dolphins. They didn't really invest in their tackles. Because let's look here. Who do they? Yeah, like their starting tackles are young Pat Paul and Austin Jackson. You could definitely use some help there. Problem is, it's way too early for our tackle. Way too early for the first guard. Maybe go the first wide receiver because Tyreek will see. There's some rumors he could be gone. Could use some corner as well. Ramsey sounds like he's getting traded. Got rid of Kendall Fuller. So you really do not have much at corner. Like your starting corners right now are Storm Duck, Ramsey, because he hasn't off the team yet, and Kader Kohu. You need to upgrade. And Cam Smith's a backup. So you definitely need some help corner. Like a wide receiver, even if you get rid of Hill, at least you still have Jalen Waddle. Like good. If you get rid of Ramsey, you're not very good at corner. So I'll give them Jermod and McCoy corner out of Tennessee here. Number 15, got the Dallas Cowboys. They picked a couple of running backs. So yeah, they got Jonathan Allen's the 1 year deal, same as Sanders. So they got Jaden Blue and Nafa, but they're both later round picks. And like your super math, they don't work out. Honestly, you'd love for them too, but it's not super bad. Can definitely use wide receiver as well. Like sound like they're interested in Tatrell McMillan if you followed to them. Obviously, with the Panthers at 8, so he didn't. But they never drafted anybody a wide receiver. Yeah, they didn't draft anybody. And so yeah, I guess maybe they're really high on Jalen Tolbert and Devontae Turpin. I'm not, at least not as number 2s. So I'm gonna give them some help wide receiver. I'm gonna give them Jordan Tyson, wide receiver for Arizona State here. Number 16 got the Pittsburgh Steelers. They drafted Will Howard, but he was a 6th-round pick. But they eventually most likely sign Rodgers. He's probably be his last season. He's super old. You need a QB. I'm not gonna give them Nico Anamalia Viva just because they didn't want to deal with Sanders off the field stuff and his attitude. Why would they want to deal with Nico's stuff where he left Tennessee due to money? I don't think they want to deal with that if they weren't willing to deal with a guy who I think is a little bit better prospect than Shadur. I don't think they're going to deal with that. So maybe I'll deal with another team later in this first round, but yeah, I'm going to give them Carson Beck, QB of Miami, Florida instead. Number 17 got the Chicago Bears. Yeah, they didn't really they drafted a lot of offense early. They got Loveland obviously, but they got Ozzy Trapilo, not super high on, but maybe has a great rookie year. Edgewise, they signed Deo Adembo, but even behind them was him and Mata Sweaty. You do not have much. And I think this is good range for the first edge. So I'm gonna give them Ruben Bain, edge out Miami, Florida here. A couple of Miami and Florida guys back to back. Number 18 got the Minnesota Vikings. I was not happy when we didn't use a single pick in the secondary. I'm gonna do it. You could also draft the first running back, but you got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason now with 1 year deal 1 year left on their deals because they're on 2 year deals. So I think you can be fine with that. Maybe because they have more pick. They actually have a second rounder for the first time. It seems like because he's been to his whole tenure with them. So yeah, I feel like you could win that. Maybe go linebacker. Maybe go first linebacker. But he got Cashman, Ivan Pace Jr. Pace Jr. has 1 year left, so he might end up leaving. But like you need corner. Like even if you sign somebody this off season, like unless if it's not Asante Samuel Jr., probably multi-year deal. But all the other guys are probably gonna be 1 year deals if they sign somebody. So yeah, and I'm not super high on Isaiah Rodgers. So I'm gonna get them corner. I'm gonna get them Malik Muhammad, corner out Texas. Like if they invested even a couple, like 1 or 2 picks in the secondary for the Vikings, I might have gone linebacker Anthony Hill Jr. But they didn't. Their secondary is a weakness still. So yeah, number 19 got the Denver Broncos. A little bit surprised in the first round this few days ago. They went to Doc Barron instead of our receiver. So could definitely do that. Who are their middle linebackers? Anyway, let's just look here. So you got Singleton. They brought in Greenlaw. Forgot about that. They got Sanders. Brought a receiver. They did not draft anybody very high. They did not draft really anybody. So yeah, I don't get some wide receiver help here. Sheldon's a year going to be a little older, so I'm going to give them Carnell Tate for our receiver out of Ohio State here. Number 20, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They didn't draft anybody at linebacker really this last draft. David's on another 1 year deal. Seems like he's going to play forever, but he's going to eventually retire. At the time of this draft, he's going to be another year older, even if he does come back for another season. So you think they eventually want to get a replacement for him. It's the first linebacker, so out the board, so I'm going to give them Anthony Hill Jr. out Texas here. Number 21, you got the Houston Texans. They drafted Ariante Ursery, but I would like to get another tackling then, but it's a little early for another one. Not doing any guards in this first round. You got Joe Mixon, but we'll see how much longer he's there. He's going to be in his 30s at this point if he isn't already. Definitely do that. Could do an edge, but he did extend Neil Hunter. You got Will Anderson Jr., obviously. So I'm going to push that down a little bit. I'm going to get them running back. I'm going to give them Jeremiah Love out Notre Dame. Show a little love to running back here. Number 22, got the Los Angeles Chargers. So yeah, they don't need running back first. They got them bringing in Hampton now. Edge, they can definitely use edge. They didn't draft an edge rusher really any high. So and Khalil Mack's back on 1 year deal, so he'll probably be gone after this upcoming season. So I'm gonna get some help at edge. I'm gonna give them Danny Dennis Sutton out Penn State here. Number 23, I got the Green Bay Packers. They did not draft a single corner until like the late day 3. So you can definitely use help there. Like even if Jair ends up playing this season for them, he probably will be gone after this upcoming season since there were a lot of conversations about him getting traded. So yeah, I'm gonna give them some help at corner here. I'll give them Avion Terrell, corner out Clemson. Whenever he's related to AJ Terrell. Number 24, got the LA Rams back on the board. I'm assuming this is their own pick. It's a little better range for our tackle. Hopefully use some help there. How's a corner? A little early from our corner though. I'm gonna do linebacker. Our receiver could do our receiver as well with Dante Adams. We'll have on your left. Puka will have to get paid soon, so you would think maybe they won't want paid to our receivers a ton, especially with a lot of young defenders as well having to get paid soon. Like they have a lot of guys that don't have to get paid pretty soon. Actually, not this off season, but like in the upcoming off seasons is what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm gonna get into tackle though. I'm gonna give them Caleb Lomo, tackle of Utah here. Getting some better protection for the new QB. Number 25, get the Cincinnati Bengals. Secondary class looking at this point. They drafted Stewart. How's the D-line class? So Caleb Banks is here. Bengals. Because did they really draft them? So, yeah, they didn't draft anybody in tier D-line class. They honestly got some Stewart edge-wise. So, yeah, I'll get some help on that defense. Higher on the board, I think, guy in the secondary left. So I'm going to give them Caleb Bankstein. I'm in South Florida here. Number 26, got the Washington Commanders. They drafted Simmons in the first. Did they draft a running back high? I felt like they drafted at least one running back. So no, they didn't. Okay, I was wrong. I thought they might have. I didn't remember for sure. Allen's gone, but they got. They got Newton. They got a lot of the step guys. They drafted anybody in edge? They didn't do anything in edge either. So yeah. Could do no running back, but I don't really want to draft no running back the first one, especially when you still have Brian Robinson Jr. With Eckler probably gone. Maybe you go tight end, but it's too early with Erskine up there and on your deal. So I'm going to give them help at edge. I'm going to give them Mayatayo Ugalagale of Oregon. And then, number 27, got the San Francisco 49ers. So they have them having a big bounce back season. I'm assuming staying healthy. If they're picking this late. So you got Warner, obviously, but you lost Greenlaw. They didn't. So let's look at their linebackers out Warner. So Warner. It's got Nick Martin and D Winters. I'm not very high in either of those guys. And there's some young guys, Steph guys. So I'm going to give them some help at linebacker. I'll give them Santorini Perkins, linebacker of Ole Miss. Number 28's got the Buffalo Bills. They got help at corner with Maxwell Harrison in this most recent draft. So not really that. Could go in our receiver. I haven't done that in a little bit. They didn't draft anybody at my receiver, really. So they didn't draft anybody really. So I'm gonna get some up for our receiver. Could do safety as well. Or have him back on short-term deal. But I'm gonna give them Aaron Anderson, our receiver, out LSU here. Number 29, got the Detroit Lions. Surprisingly, didn't draft really any edge rushers, especially when they're really relying on Marcus Davenport staying healthy, even though he never does. But even if he does, he's on a 1-year deal. And he does have a great year. Do you really want to pay him and eventually Aiden Hutchinson? So he'll probably have to end up locking if he does have a good year. So I'm going to give them LT Overton, edge of Alabama, actually invest in the edge class, the edge group this time. Number 30, got the Baltimore Ravens. They got Eli Felt and Malachi Starks in first, so they don't need that. They got Mike Green in second, so they don't really need edge. Just a little early for that anyways. But they didn't really do anything at wide receiver. He got Bateman, but he did have a good year this last season, but he's rarely stays healthy the whole season, so they really not count on that. So I'm going to give them Malachi Fields, wide receiver out of Virginia. Kind of almost have the same first name guys in back-to-back first rounds for them. Malachi Malachi. Similar. Number 31, you got the Kansas City Chiefs. So So too early for a tight end. Could do that with Kelsey. It's getting really old at this point. Could use some help at corner. Pacheco, he's gonna need a payday, but I don't do that. So I don't get some help at corner. I don't give them corner Jalen Kilgore out of South Carolina because they've done good in drafting corners late rounds lately, but some of them are coming up on deals, so you're not paying them soon. So number 32, got the reigning Super Bowl champs. I guess they probably just have a team that won the Super Bowl last, but I guess they haven't predicted them win the Super Bowl again. Which could happen. They are a good team. There should be a good team again. But they traded up one pick of the Chiefs for Jahad Campbell, who was a linebacker, but they didn't really do anything in edge group. I guess Bryce Huff has a bounce back year, having greatest year, first year with them. Didn't really have much else there, but they do really love having great edge group. Maybe they go tackle eventual replacement for Lane Johnson, who is another year older at this point. Well, invest for this edge group. They're great at developing no linemen. You can probably find a great, maybe one of their later round picks to tackle. They do great, but they'll probably do great and develop one. They can probably find a great tackle in like the second or something and develop him, and he'll be great. Because it seems like most of their O linemen are not first round picks. Like they're only starting O lineman from them predicting on the year that was a first round pick by them was Lane Johnson. Like Kenyon Green was, but he was about the Texans. Like a lot of these guys were day 2 or day 3s. I feel like they can probably find one again. So I'm like, but yeah, I'm getting the David Bailey edge out of Stanford here. Bye guys, thanks for watching. That's gonna be it for this video. Hope you have a good one.